As I've talked about a bit before, I used to do a lot of cave diving, particularly back 2013, 2014, 2015. And around the same time, I was also doing a lot of free diving, breath hold diving. It's always something I've kind of been a little bit interested of because there is a hypoxic side of training with things like swimming. And I've just always been interested in watching freedivers and how they do what they do. And I think I started watching some YouTube channels about that time, and a few people were breaking down the skills. And also, at some stage, I ended up online and messaged the New Zealand world record holder, William Truebridge. I'm not sure if he still does. I think he still does hold a couple of world records. But anyway, he was just, as it turns out, I think just resting up for a competition the next day, which he ended up winning. So it was just lucky that he was able to respond straight away, and he gave me some answers to some questions, which was really appreciated. And one of his world records is the most physical discipline, which is constant weight, no fins. He doesn't use any fins, doesn't use anything, just goes down and swims all the way down and swims all the way up. It's a really cool thing to see. And he can actually go over 100 meters in depth doing that. So it was really interesting watching some of the stuff about him as well, and quite inspirational. And I thought, this is a skill I'd like to learn. So I went and did a basic freediving course. I then started doing some freediving videos, which were completely different to the cave diving ones because no bubbles, so no sound. And there's a saying that freedivers have, that is, scuba divers go down to look around, freedivers go down to look within. So it's that state of meditation you have to get in, that state of calmness, from this long breathe up on the surface to the most relaxed state you can put your body in, slow the pulse right down before you basically just drop down under the surface and start exploring. And yeah, it's really quite addictive, counterintuitive for people who might think, oh, breath holding, that's just so unpleasant, but it really is something you get used to. It takes you to this different place. You can't be anywhere else. You can't think of anything else. All you have to do is relax. And I went back and did my second cave diving course, having done this, and there was this training session we did that I remember very clearly, in which case we were we had our regulators removed, but whilst we were blindfolded, not just while we had the mask removed, so we couldn't see anything. And the job was to find our buddy who was next to us on the line, take their spare air, and basically escape to the surface on the line with a blindfold. And I was looking for my buddy's spare air, and I couldn't find it. And this went on for a while, and my instructor's there waiting, but he couldn't see me panicking, so he didn't intervene. And eventually he did, and then masked blindfold got removed. Up we went to talk about it. He goes, look, these are the things you did wrong. However, he said, I'll give you this, you didn't panic at all. So that freediving training you're doing must be helping out. And it really was. So we went then down again, did the skill, actually did it fine. But yeah, it certainly seemed to be a really useful skill set for cave dive training. And as I say, I did a number of videos, not just for cave diving, but also free diving, and I shared them online. And tonight I'd like to share one I did on diving the Second Valley Caverns, which is an hour and a half down south from where I live in South Australia. It's a very exposed site along the coastline, very pretty, but you wouldn't do it in rough weather. But when it's calm, it's awesome. And there's a series of caverns you can scuba dive through, or in this case, free dive through. So this is free diving the Second Valley Caverns.